Okay, so in today video we will discuss about a static keyword in C sharp, like what is a static and when we should use the static keyword, what happens when we use the static keywords. So these are the things that we will be discussing in today video. So the first point we have is a static keyword can be applied on class, method, property, constructor, event, and once a static is applied, then member starts belonging to class itself rather than a specific object of that class. So what exactly does it mean? The first of all, a static itself is a keyword in C sharp, and this static keyword can be used with class, method, property, constructor, event, etc. Like I have Visual Studio, and suppose I want to make this class program as a static. So what I can do, I can just write the keyword static, and see this class automatically starts belonging to a static. Like we can say this class is now a static class. Likewise, you see, even this static keyword is applied at method level also, means this method is a static method. Likewise, we can something go with property, for example. So here we have this property, we can name it maybe age, and then it says program is cannot declare instance member in a static class. This is something like, since this class is a static, that's why I'm getting error. But as soon as I write a static, automatically error gone, and we can see now that we are able to apply a static at class level, at property level, or method level, like this. So these are the things where we can make use of a static keyword. And then it says like once we applied that, then it starts belonging to class itself rather than a specific object of that class. It means that whenever we have anything static, it means we don't need to create object to access that one. We can simply call that by making use of class itself. How? Like, see, let's go and I will create another class here. I will say public not static. For now, let me just create a simple class, public class, and then I will say demo. Now, as we know, since we are not making use of a static, that's why this class is non-static class. Okay, in order to make it a static, just use the static, that's it. No difference other than a static. So if you are using a static, it means it is a static class. If you are not using, it is non-static class. Okay, now inside this we can create one property. For example, I will write something like this, prop, then I have int, then I will say any variable name, I can say maybe age itself. Okay, so now this still, can you guess this is a static property or non-static? This is non-static because we are not making use of a static keyword still. So as soon as we will use the static, immediately it starts belonging to a static. And now if we have to access this from this class, program class, we don't need to create the object of this demo. We can directly access with class name itself, that is demo.age, and we are done. Okay, so how we can use? For now, let me remove this static. Okay, and this property also I will remove. And then suppose I have to access from this console write line. So here I can simply say demo dot, and see is I'm getting, and if I run this, I should get nothing because I have not initialized the value of age, and by default the value of int is 0, so it should be 0 only. If we see here, we can see the value is showing 0 because this is the default. If we want to initialize it, .NET provides us the facility that here only we can initialize, let's say 60 years. Okay, so now obviously the value that will be printed is 60. Okay, so this way basically we can access. No need to create the object, something like, suppose this is non-static, in that case just remove the static keyword. And if we have to access, then now we can't access this directly with class name that earlier we were accessing like this. No, now what we have to create, we have to create the object first like this. demo, and then with this reference we can access. So this is the difference between static and non-static. If it is non-static, then we are required to create the object first, and then with that object reference we are able to access, and then we can get the value that you can see 60. So basically I am telling, if it is static, how you can access, and if it is non-static, then how you can access. So in terms of static, you saw just by class name we are able to access, and if it is non-static, then we are required to create the object. So this is what basically the meaning of this line is. Like if we are using the static, then member starts belonging to class itself. Okay, so if we were writing here a static, it means now this is no longer belonging to the object, it is belonging to class itself, and using class only directly we can access. Okay, no need to create object in this case. Then second point is a static class contains only a static member. So what does it mean? Suppose this time it is obviously non-static class. Why? Because a static keyword is not used with this class. If we have to make this class as a static, what we need to do? Simply use the static keyword, and automatically this class became a static class now. And here according to this point, it says if we have class static, then it will contain only static members. Does that mean that non-static members cannot sit inside this static class? Yes, exactly. So this is what basically happens. Let's go and try to create a non-static member, and then see whether we are allowed to know or not. So if we see, again I will write property, this time int, then I will say age, then I will say maybe name. And see, as soon as I am writing, since with this property we are getting error, but with this we are not, and the reason is obvious, that we have used a static. That's why we have not used a static with this. So this is the non-static, and according to our theory it says that a static class can contain only a static member, not non-static. This is the non-static, and that's why we are getting error like this. If we try to read the error, here you see demo.name property cannot declare instance members in a static class. Since we have defined this class as a static, now all the members who will sit inside this class must be a static only. This is what basically the meaning of this is, like a static class must have a static members only. Then next point we have is static members are invoked using name of the class, and non-static members are invoked using instance of the class, and that we have already seen. Like when we remove the static from here, then we were required to create the object of the demo class, right? And currently if we have the static, in that case directly we are able to access with class name demo dot and then property name. But if we remove, then if you remember earlier I showed, like we had to create the demo object, like demo equal to new demo, and then demo dot age. This way we were able to access the property age. So this is the different approach, that if we have the static, we can access that using class name itself that currently we are accessing. If we don't have a static, it is non-static, then first we should create the object. Okay, so this is what basically it is trying to tell. Now an instance member, that is nothing but non-static, or the member which doesn't contains a static keyword. Okay, this is what basically the meaning of this line is, belongs to a specific instance of a class. If we create multiple objects of a class, we will have multiple sets of instance member in the memory, whereas there will ever be only one copy of a static member, no matter how many instances of a class are created. What exactly does it means? Okay, so this is very important point if we are learning in context of static things. Okay, so here it is telling, like if, let's not make this as a static for now. So if it is non-static class, in that that case both member can sit together, either static and non-static, and obviously the way of accessing this will be different. Like a static member can be accessed directly using class name, but we cannot say name, okay, because this is non-static. If I say here dot, you see in the IntelliSense I am getting age but I am not getting name. Why? Because this is non-static, and for non-static we must need to create the object first, that then only we can access that. Okay, now it says that suppose we have a class, and if we are creating the object, multiple object, then all the non-static members every time will be created, but there will be only one a static memory allocation will take place only once throughout the life cycle for that object. What exactly does it mean? So it means let me go, and here I will create few object. Okay, for example I will say demo 1 equal to new demo. So this is my first object. Now I will again say demo 2 equal to new demo. Okay, then I will say demo, like several objects I am trying to create. So demo 3 equal to new demo, like this. And then I will try to set, suppose I have demo 1. Okay, for that I will set what I can say, name. So I will say demo 1 dot name, and I will write this Rakesh. Okay, this is int, it should be actually a string. Then I will have demo 2 Razu, then I will say demo 3 here Sanjit. Okay, and then for them I will also try to set demo 1 dot what does that mean, age, but I am not able to access this. Why? Because this demo is the object reference, and what is age? Age is the static member, so I can't access using this. I can access directly using class name. Okay, so simply I can say demo dot age equal to 20. I will just keep copying. And then if I try to print the console also, will it print different or not? That we will see. So here I will say name. Okay, so demo 1 dot name. So just to save the time I have typed the code. Okay, so I have created demo 1 dot name is Rakesh, age is 20, and then I'm printing the name. Then demo 2 name is Raju, and here I'm printing. Then age I set to let me set this here 30. So Raju age is 30. Then demo 3 is Sanjit, age is 40. Okay, so demo here demo 3, then I am writing the name. So these people, demo Rakesh, Raju and Sanjit, we can see like we might get the feeling that different values we can receive, but this is not the case. Instead what will happen, like here the same value is getting updated again and again. So simply what will happen, name will be printed, means every time the object we are creating, since this name is the non-static, will be associated with object itself, but age is the static, so it will not be associated with object, rather it will sit into a common area or into another memory, like that I can say. So if I show you diagrammatically, so something like this, this is demo 1, this is demo 2, this is demo 3. Okay, and then inside this is the object. Here the name will be there. Okay, like inside this name will be there, but there will be no age, because this is the object. Age will somewhere sit like this as a single times, okay, irrespective of how many object we are creating. So here I can say this will be another name for Raju. This will be another object where the name will have value Sanjit. Okay, here we'll have the name value what, Rakesh, I guess. Yes, so have value Rakesh, but they will not have age. The age is here itself, and first time it will have the value 20, then 30, then 40, irrespective of how many objects we are creating. The memory for age allocation will take place only once, and each object will be utilizing this common property only, because static members gets allocated only once in the memory, not every time. So age is static, it will remain common, and non-static member is associated with object, so it will get every time created with object. So if we are creating the fourth object, name property will be there, but age will be still common. Okay, so I hope you might have understood. So what age will be printed here, guys? First time it will be 20, then 30, then 40. But remember, whatever the value that we are printing, that value will be the last one, that is this one. Okay, so in every case it will print 40, 40, 40, because the age that we are writing, every time we are updating the same static property. So earlier it was 20, but here we are not printing, right? Then it become 30, then it become 40. So we are getting feeling that we are updating for this particular object. No, we are updating a common object, common property, age. So when we are updating 20, actually this age is only updated. Then we are making 40, so this age only will be 40 from this object. Then from third object, this will be the I think what was the last, this is 40. So 40 is getting updated from the last object. So from this object it will be the 40, and so the last updated value is 40. Hence all the value that will get printed will be 40 only. It proves that static members are common and is being accessed by all the object together. Okay, so this is a common property, and every time a static member will not be allocated, will not be created in the memory. Non-static will be created for sure. Okay, but here you see all values we are getting 40 only, and I hope this is clear that what was the meaning of this line. Okay, like if we create multiple objects of a class, we will have multiple sets of instance member. In our case, name is the instance member, so we will have multiple name, okay, associated with every object, but in the memory, but there will be ever be only one copy of a static member, no matter how many instances of a classes are created. So we will have only one copy of age, and that only is being shared by all the objects, irrespective of how many objects we are creating. The next point is, if something is going to be common for all the classes, then we should opt for a static field. For example, value of pi, right? So this is the common, so value of pi will remain same throughout everywhere, right? So this way we can make the pi, value of pi, like this. If we have to use where the value is going to remain constant forever, in that case we should go and create the pi value static. So this will remain the common, and all the object will be accessing that only. Okay, static classes are sealed, hence it cannot be inherited. Means suppose I am making this demo class as a static, and here I am trying to create one okay, it is giving because this is the non-static. Now if I will create any other class, okay, like public class, maybe demo1, and then we'll try to inherit what, demo. Let's see if we are able to do it or not. So see, we started getting error, says demo1 cannot derive from a static class demo. Means a static class cannot be inherited. The reason is straightforward, it behaves like a sealed class only, so it is sealed, hence it cannot be inherited. A static class can be used to define extension method that can be used to extend the functionality of existing class without the need to modify them. So this is one best application of using a static class, that where exactly we can make use of a static class is to create the extension method. If we want to create our own custom method and want to associate this custom method with inbuilt class, then we can do with the help of a static class. So this is another concept. I will I already have created one video on this. I will share the link. If you don't know about the extension method, you can go and watch and you will understand what extension method is and how basically we can make use of a static class in order to create extension method. Next we have is static constructors. Okay, so we have normal constructor as well as a static constructor. So here we will learn what is a static constructor. Static constructors are used to initialize the static field in the class. First of all, let me remove this and I will remove the class static from here also. For now I will remove, and suppose I want to create the static class. So first of all, how a static class is created? So you just need to give the static keyword and then name of the class, and you are done. So that's it. Then seeing what is the use of this. So basically inside this we can create the static members only. Obviously non-static members cannot be handled from static. Okay, we will understand this why. So suppose I want to set age to maybe 55 only. Okay, so this way now when this will execute, they will have the value 60, but when CLR will call this static constructor, that time the age will be updated to new value, that is 55. Okay, and now if we run okay, so we have updated the age everywhere, so still the value will remain same, that is 40. This time no change because from here we are updating. So if we comment everywhere, then we will getting 55. See, so this way we can update from the static constructor. Then next we have in order to create a static constructor, we just have to use the static keyword in constructor and it becomes a static constructor. Very easy to create a static member class. All you need to do is you just have to put the static keyword in front of that member and that will start behaving like a static member. Okay, so in this is a constructor and just we added a static keyword and we are done. So our static constructor is created. Next we have a static constructor is called only once irrespective of number of objects we create for a class. Okay, so here suppose this many times we are creating the object, first time, second time, third time, but how many times it will execute? It will execute only once. How will we understand? Let's see, and I will write here one console. Okay, that this is a static constructor, and let me create one non-static constructor also. So shortcut is CTOR tab and this is created. I will write message here also. This is a non-static constructor. So what will happen guys, every time whenever we will create the object, it will execute. Okay, but this will execute only once. Let's run and check. So here you see, as soon as we create the object, we are getting this is non-static, this is a non-static member constructor, and here also we are getting this is non-static member. But the very first time when we accessed the object, created the object, that time only we are getting this message, this is a static constructor. After that you see nowhere we are getting this message. Which actually what happens, like whenever the very first time we are creating the object, that time only CLR, before executing this constructor, non-static constructor, CLR will prioritize the execution of a static constructor. So first a static constructor will execute, then non-static constructor will execute, and that is the reason that see before getting this message we are getting this message from a static members. Means even though you are creating the object guys, we are not calling this. CLR is responsible to call the static constructor, but but whenever we are creating the object, this non-static constructor gets executed, but CLR will make sure that before executing the non-static constructor, the static constructor present in the class must be executed first, and this execution will take place only one times, irrespective of you are creating 100,000 or whatever the number of objects you are creating. It will be called only once for every object, means for every class actually. Okay, so this time we are calling 3 times object, but for the demo class only one time this will be called. Okay, static constructor it is about. Then we can create only one static constructor and it would be parameter less. We are not allowed to have overloaded static constructor and multiple constructor, no, only single. Okay, if we just want to cross verify, let me go and let me create the another one. See, even though I am giving some int age, still I am getting the error. The reason is demo integer static constructor must be parameter less. Okay, we can't see. Anyway, this is going to be called by the CLR will have no idea that what value I should pass here. Okay, we will never be able to call this constructor. That's why it doesn't allow us to have the parametered constructor, parametered static constructor, and that's why we are getting this one. A static constructor must be parameter less. Okay, so we will have only one constructor. Then the runtime automatically calls the static constructor before the first instance is created. This is we have already discussed. Or any static member is accessed, you cannot call it manually. CLR is responsible to call this. Static constructors do not have access modifiers like public, private, etc. Simply if we go and try putting public in front of this, let's see what happens. So it started giving error. Demo access modifiers are not allowed on a static constructor. We are not supposed to provide the access modifiers, and then they are implicitly private because they cannot be called outside the class. So automatically by default it is private. So that's it. This is what basically all the concepts we had about the static and static constructor. I hope you are clear now. Thank you. If you have any question, please write out in the comment and I will try to answer that. So that's it. Thank you.